What's good? It's Russell Kaner. Today I'm gonna be going over my official AEW Revolution predictions. This upcoming pay-per-view Revolution. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the most excited for this pay-per-view, if I'm being honest. This upcoming Sunday, I feel like the build has been okay, not really that great, but the matches should be a banger. I'm gonna just go ahead and jump straight into the predictions. The first match in the card we're gonna start off with is Okada versus Brody King for the Continental Championship. Gonna be honest here. I have no idea why this is even a thing. I know maybe most likely this was a thing on Collision. I don't watch Collision for the most part due to it not being that important. But I know recently they have been making some storylines matter on Collision, so I may start watching it. I feel like this is very obvious because we already know what the end goal is here. I feel like the end goal is for eventually Okada and Kenny Omega to have their match at All In. So this match right here, I'm assuming that Omega is going to win, especially because they just recently did this with Buddy Matthews, him at the Australia Grand Slam. I'm assuming they're just going to do the same thing, have Okada ends up picking up the victory. Don't really need to go that in depth on why I think so. I think it's very obvious who's winning this match, and I don't really need to stretch it out that much further. I don't really care for this match because I like Brody King. Okada, not so much. I could really care less about Okada, to be honest with you. So Okada's just going to retain his Continental Championship. All right, the next match on the card we have is the Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners. Now, this I actually know. I know originally it was about to be Lance Archer and Brian Cage, but they ended up losing to the Outrunners, which made the Outrunners the number one contenders. I don't know if they've been feuding on Collision. I don't know if the Hurt Syndicate and Outrunners have been having more altercations on Collision. I don't know that part, but it makes sense for the Outrunners to have this title opportunity. Yeah, I think it's also the same thing, like I said, with the last match with the Okada and Brody King match, that it's very obvious who's winning this match. The Hurt Syndicate just recently won these titles. They're not losing these titles anytime soon, and it just doesn't make sense for the Outrunners to win them now. If this was a few months ago, because I know the Outrunners were like extremely over at one point, like a few months ago, but now it just makes no sense to pull the trigger now. So yeah, the Hurt Syndicate are clearly going to win this match, and we'll see. The match, I don't have high hopes for this match, to be honest. I think the match will be fine. I don't know if it'll be a banger, but I think the match will be fine. But I have the Hurt Syndicate retaining the AEW Tag Team Championships. The next match on the card we have is Mercedes Moné versus Momo. Yeah, I'm not even going to discuss this match, to be honest, because I don't care. The match probably is going to be a banger. This feud literally started with basically Momo calling out Mercedes. It was an altercation, I think, at Grand Slam where Mercedes like pushed Momo while she was watching from the stands, from the crowd. But yeah, this is so obvious. Yeah, because I think Momo won like a number one contendership match to choose a champion, and she ends up choosing Mercedes for the TBS title. I don't care. I don't care. I think no one cares. Mercedes is winning. I think it's that obvious. I don't need to go that in depth on why she's winning this match, but Mercedes is retaining and she's going to be still your TBS champion. Now, we got Konosuke Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. Now, this is one of the matches I'm actually interested in. The story itself is basically, can Konosuke Takeshita actually beat Kenny Omega clean? Konosuke constantly brings up how he's 2-0. I think he's 2-0 against Kenny Omega. Can he make it 3-0? And Kenny Omega is basically trying to prove that he is the better wrestler and that he can actually beat Konosuke. I like the story they're telling here. I think they're going to go with Kenny Omega beating Konosuke Takeshita because I'm hoping, now I'm maybe giving him too much credit, but I'm hoping what they're doing is that they're going to have Kenny Omega beat Konosuke. I don't want him to beat Konosuke, but I think that's the direction they're going. Have him beat Konosuke. Then at All In, you do the Kenny Omega and Okada match for title, and you combine the Continental and the International Championship. I'm hoping that is the play. I'm hoping that's what they're doing here because we do not need an International and a Continental title. You don't need both of them. I'm hoping that is the play here. I'm hoping that's what they're going for, but I could be wrong. But I'm hoping that's what they're doing here. But I have Kenny Omega beating Konosuke Takeshita, getting that victory, finally proving that he is the better wrestler, and all those other wins that Konosuke have were flukes, and that he ended up cheating his way to get that. So I'm assuming that's where they're going to go with this. I just don't see a reason why Konosuke will retain based off the story that they've been telling of Konosuke can't beat Kenny Omega cleanly. So I'm assuming that's the story that they're going to go with, but I have Kenny Omega becoming your new international champion. Now, we have Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Now, this match right here, I'm going to be honest, it's very weird because I love the feud, but to be honest, I'm not that excited for the match because I kind of feel like the feud has ran its course and it's kind of stale and there's not much more you can really do to make it that much more interesting. But the problem is that Tony Storm and Mariah May have no one else to feud with due to the women's division being booked so terribly. So it's like they're kind of forced to do this. Now, I know that Mariah May like attacked Tony Storm on Collision last week, if I'm not mistaken. I think Tony Storm is going to retain. I think it only makes sense. She just won this not that long ago. She won it at Grand Slam. So I don't see the reason for Mariah May to win it back. Now, I would love for Mariah May to win because I love Mariah May. I think she should have had a better title run, but due to the women's division not being booked that well, her title reign was trash. Tony Storm's title reign, I don't have high hopes for either because there's no one for her to face. Mariah May is the only person, but the thing is, this is the third match. Like, you can't keep running this back, and it's already getting stale in my opinion. I don't think how much more can you really push the Mariah May and Tony Storm thing before people get tired of it. Like, I think that this feud needs a break in my opinion. I don't think you can really stretch this out. I barely care about this match. I only care because of Mariah May, if I'm being honest. Tony Storm, I like Tony Storm, but I don't love Tony Storm, but I'm not really feeling this match or this feud anymore because I feel like it just should be over. It should be over. I think it should be dead. I think they need a break from each other, but they're kind of forced because who else are they going to face in the women's division? But I have Tony Storm. I think she's going to retain the AEW Women's Championship. Now we have Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. This is the third match. This is going to be the final blow-off match. It's going to be in a steel cage. This is to finally prove who is the better man. Now, recently on the last episode of Dynamite, which was yesterday, Will Ospreay ended up getting attacked by the Don Callis family, so I'm assuming they're going to play a neck injury, because they end up doing a whole thing with his neck, which I don't like, because I don't like when baby faces overcome the odds with injury, because I just feel like it just makes the heel look weak. I feel like there's only certain moments where it actually works with the whole injury with the baby face. Unfortunately, I think Will Ospreay is going to win this match. I don't think he should win this match. I think Kyle Fletcher should win, but given on how they're doing this feud and how they're building it up, it seems like they're going to have Will Ospreay win, finally get that victory over Kyle Fletcher, finally put an end to the whole Don Callis thing. And to be fair, I kind of want the Don Callis family to be done with Will Ospreay because I'm kind of over it, to be honest. Like, the feud has been all right. It started off really good. Like, the initial turn with Kyle Fletcher, it started off so amazing, and then it just went downhill and more downhill. So I'm kind of over it. I kind of hope this is the end. I don't want to see no more Don Callis with Will Ospreay. I'm kind of just over that. I think that should end, especially because the Don Callis family, just gonna be honest, they're just very boring. And they're not boring. Well, they're boring because they really only have one entertaining character, which is Kyle Fletcher, and a little bit of Don Callis. Everyone else is just very boring and with no personality. But yeah, I'm just kind of over it. I think Will Ospreay will end up picking up the victory, finally proving that he is the better man, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But I have Will Ospreay beating Kyle Fletcher. Now we have MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. This match I don't think has a stipulation, which is kind of weird. I kind of feel like this match should have a stipulation. This match is gonna be very interesting. I think they're gonna have multiple matches. Now, during the Go Home show, they showed MJF standing tall with him attacking Hangman, him about to burn Hangman, about to light him on fire. Based off the build right now, I think Hangman does need the first victory, but I think they're going to have multiple matches, because I do think Hangman wins the first one, then MJF probably wins the second one by cheating, and then they finally have a third match. I think because they're not doing a one-off match, not now at least. Now, you could have MJF win by cheating and then have Hangman chase MJF for that victory due to him cheating. You could do that as well. But based off of how they're building this match, I think Hangman will win the first match, and then they continue the rivalry from there with MJF being mad and frustrated and then trying to get his revenge. I think that's the story they're going to go with. Right now, overall, I've been enjoying the story. You know, a story of MJF being mad and jealous of the fans loving Hangman, while you know, MJF feel like Hangman is not the good guy. I love the story that they're telling with MJF. I do. It's been a solid build so far. I hope they continue to build upon this feud, but I think right now, I think it's best for Hangman to pick up the victory right now, and then MJF chases after the victory. So I have Hangman beating MJF. Now we have Swerve versus Ricochet in a number one contendership match. Winner is the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. This feud has been okay to me. It started off great with the scissors, with him smashing Swerve's head, but after that, it kind of went downhill. They recently had a contract signing where Ricochet tried to get the upper hand but couldn't. Swerve ended up stopping him, and then at the main event of Dynamite, you end up having Ricochet ended up hitting Swerve with the Continental Championship, picking up the victory over him. I think Swerve is going to win. I think it only makes sense because either way, it just doesn't make sense for Ricochet to be in the world title picture right now. I feel like you should continue to build up his heel gimmick, eventually getting to that point. I don't think it's right for him to be in the world title picture yet. I think you should slowly build this character and then eventually get there. Because if he's going to face Jon Moxley, that's a no. And then same thing with Adam Copeland. I think it should be Swerve. I think Swerve is going to get his gift back. I think eventually Swerve is going to get the coat. I don't know if this is the end of the feud. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if this is going to be the end of the feud. They may end up having a third match. This is one of the feuds where you could blow it off here, but they could easily drag this out. But I do think Swerve will pick up the victory and then end up becoming the number one contender. I don't know if this is going to be for Dynasty or Double or Nothing, or this is just going to be a random episode of Dynamite where he's going to get his title opportunity. But I do think Swerve Strickland will beat Ricochet and become the new number one contender for the AEW World Championship. Now we got the main event. Jon Moxley versus Adam Copeland for the AEW World Championship. Now, the story they've been telling here is very simple. Adam Copeland is trying to have Jon Moxley all to himself. That way, the Death Riders can't come in and interrupt. They can't, of course, help Jon Moxley. They end up taking out Pac. They took out Claudio. Wheeler Yuta is having issues with Jon Moxley, so it looks like he's not going to intervene. Marina Shafir got taken out. I don't remember seeing Pac getting taken out. I remember seeing Claudio and Marina, but I don't remember seeing Pac get taken out. But the story is basically Jon Moxley is all alone, and can he pick up the victory by himself? Gonna be honest here. I think Jon Moxley is retaining. I don't know. Something tells me that someone's going to come out and help him. Maybe Wheeler Yuta is going to come back and help. Something's going to happen in this match. I just don't see it. I just don't. And if Adam Copeland does win this match, Christian needs to cash in on Adam Copeland. I'm sorry. I love Adam Copeland. I do. I love him. But he should not be AEW World Champion. No. I wouldn't mind him getting a reign, but not right now. Not after this Death Rider stuff. I want a new champion. Adam Copeland will be a new champion, but you get my point. Someone that been there for a while, who's been in AEW for a long time. Not Christian's an ex-WWE guy, but I just think it should be someone. I just don't want Adam Copeland. Not right now, at least. Not right now. Maybe after he beats Christian for it, fine. But it's not right now. But I think Jon Moxley will retain. I think maybe Claudio comes back. Maybe Marina. Someone's going to come back, cost Adam Copeland a match, and Jon Moxley is going to retain some way. I just have a feeling. I just don't see him losing right now. But yeah, I have Jon Moxley retaining the AEW World Championship. That's all of my predictions. This show, like I said, I'm not the most excited for. I can't believe people was actually telling me that this was a better card at WrestleMania. I'm sorry. Even before WrestleMania had, the 4 to 5 matches, even when they only had 2 matches announced, that card was better than this, if I'm being honest. But overall, I think the show will be great. But I'm not really that excited for the card. But you guys let me know your predictions down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, that's it.